Okay, so yeah, it's recording. So hi guys, my name is Saurav. I like to make content on cloud, DevOps, Kubernetes deployment in general, basically. In yesterday video, I have given you the instruction to deploy a sample network toolkit application. If you don't know, this is the particular application. Let me just open my GitHub code first. This is the particular application. If you check, okay, this is the application which will give you the ability to do all those basic network tasks. For example, DNS checking, IP pings, Traceroute, domain availability, so on and so forth. If you don't know, if you can also go to YouTube and check my video regarding this particular video where I have given you the entire instruction. If you try DevOps DevOps tech.fun Saurav DevOps tech.fun Saurav, you will see this YouTube channel, and you can use this video as a deployment part. But today what we're going to show you is that how can you deploy the same application using CI/CD. Okay, so let me just open this thing. So for example, let's just say your this code will be residing on a GitHub, okay, the SCM, the source code management, and you want to deploy the application into CI/CD kind of manner into both the different section. First one is EC2, where we were going to deploy the entire application as a staging development kind of thing, staging or a dev kind of thing in a EC2 section. And if let's just say your deployment is you got what you expected from the EC2 deployment, you will shift it to the Kubernetes, which is called a master or production deployment. Okay, since I have already created the Docker file and all the deployment part, it will be a very easy thing for you as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is that first thing first, for the safer side, for EC2 deployment, I will create a branch called EC2. Let me just go to our code. This is the particular code. Okay, this is the particular code. You can clone it from here only, from this thing, using this http git clone, and you will get your application. First thing first, I will try to create a branch called EC2. Then let me just go to the terminal, and let me just create a EC2 branch. Okay, so EC2 branch has been created successfully. You will see EC2 branch is provisioned. Okay, here all the GitHub Actions code will be written. What is GitHub Action? GitHub Action is the CNCF utility. CNCF means Cloud Native Cloud Formation kind of utility to deploy your application using SCM, GitHub Actions, or you can say GitHub. In GitLab there is a concept called GitLab CI/CD. In GitHub it's called GitHub Actions. So first thing first, we need to create a virtual machine or EC2 instance in AWS, associate all the thing. You can watch my previous video how can we create EC2 instance very easily. I will not going to waste your time. So let me just go to our console and get you the IP address. Okay, so yeah, so this is the server which is we are going to use for our CI/CD testing, playing kind of stuffs. This is the IP address. Let me just try to log into this IP address first. We have the key file, we have everything, okay, which is actually neat. So let me just go to our console and go to the downloads folder, and we will use the key.pem followed by the particular username, and let me just go to the server, and if we get any kind of error now, we will resolve it, no issue. For issue key.pem, again use that particular command, and if everything is working, then we are good to go. So yeah, the login part, it is done. Now go to your code, SCM code, and for GitHub to work, for basically GitHub to understand that this branch is actually used for any kind of CI/CD kind of method, you need to create a folder called .github. Okay, this is the code. Let me just zoom it a little so you can able to understand a little better. Okay, not that much, yeah. Let me just ignore it everything right now. So what I'm going to what I do is that I just create a .github folder in here, and under the GitHub folder I have created a folder called workflows. Workflows is a directory where GitHub understand that this is a directory, is a pre-configured or pre-baked kind of directory, which is actually used for giving all instruction to the GitHub that this is the CI/CD kind of, this is a GitHub action configuration. Okay, so I have created two files. First one to deploy this code into EC2, and second one is to deploy it on K8s. Let me just open to EC2 first. This is the code actually, but here I have written that this is a configuration file which is actually used for EC2 staging development purposes. Okay, so first thing first, it will going to use Ubuntu latest runners, or you can say the shared runner, which is provided by the GitHub for your self-learning purposes. So first thing first, this is the secret file. Okay, SSH private key is actually needed here, and this is actually needed for login to the server. Okay, login to that server, and then there's a thing called rsync. Rsync is a utility to copy folders and file from your location to the dedicated location or remote location. Okay, so rsync, I will going to copy all this code from our shared runner to our particular deployment code. Deployment code means deployment server, which is the server which is created on the AWS level. Okay, for that we need only two things: IP address, username, and the key. And all the relevant information regarding IP address, key will be passed using variable format, or you can say secret format. You will see SSH key is a variable, and then there's a thing called rsync here. EC2 user means remote server user, and the EC2 host, which is the IP address of the remote server. So everything will be encrypted, nothing will be residing publicly. Okay, and you will see that then I will going to install Docker and Docker Compose and Nginx on the EC2 server, and if everything will be working, then I will get a Nginx configuration. This is the Nginx configuration which will reroute my traffic of my localhost 5000 to our port 80 listening on our Nginx web server. Okay, and then I will try to enable the application, enable the soft link or sim link of our Nginx configuration to actually work. Okay, and then I will restart and test the Nginx configuration, that if everything is working or not. If let's just say something is not working, then it will throw us error, and then we will try to rerun the application, that if everything is working as expected or not. Okay, then so yeah, let me just and yeah, there is a thing called on push branches flag. This is the flag which is actually helping which branch where this action with this GitHub action or GitHub workflow will be residing. You will see I have created a EC2 branch. You will see this is the EC2 branch, or I can able to show you in terminal as well. Let me just shit. Git branch. You will see I am right now in a EC2 branch, so copy this thing and push here only EC2. Now this configuration file will be working whenever you will push or commit any code into this EC2 branch. Okay, but first thing first, you need to pass this variable which is actually needed for your this GitHub action to work properly. Okay, so let me just go to the GitHub and go to setting, go to actions and variables, secret name variable, go to actions, and here you need to you need to change the username and all those stuffs. EC2 username will be Ubuntu, so type here Ubuntu, update the secret. EC2 host will be copy from here. This is the public IP address. Pass the secret. EC2 SSH key will be your PEM file. You can you can open the file manager, or let me just check here only. Shit, yeah. Copy the entire file, open Notepad, paste it here, and see if anything is not. Yeah, it is good to go. Copy the key file, update the secret, and for connecting to the server, most of the thing you have already done it. Now go to your VS Code, and yeah, just add this thing. Git add workflow, GitHub workflows EC2, git commit -m, push the deploy to EC2 CI CD pipeline config. Shit. Push, and this will be pushed, and this will trigger a GitHub action. Okay, you will see in the EC2 there's a action is triggered. Open the deploy section, and you will see it will copy and install all the stuffs into our dedicated server. Let me just wait for a couple of seconds. Once it is deploying the entire thing, now we will have our configuration, or we will have our entire application up and running in a very easy manner. You can able to see the entire thing into a show timestamp manner or full screen as well. So wait for a couple of seconds to deploy this thing. Yeah. So deployment part is right now in a initializing state. You will see Nginx or lot of different configuration regarding Docker installation and all the thing actually is done. And if I go to my IP address and open this thing, so we should have a application up and running. You will see everything is it working properly. So what I'm going to showcase you that the deployment part regarding CI/CD, it is very easy. You can able to see all those things. Okay, if let's just say you want to, for example, this is the thing Saurav Day. I want to change it from Saurav Day to anything else. So let me just go to our app.py, not app.py, our index.html, and search the Saurav Day. This is Saurav Day here. And if I want to change it to by made with by love. Let me just type love here. Okay, and add the love bottom header, bottom line, something. Okay, no, change the name of Saurav. Change क्या लिखूं? Change Saurav to love. in bottom bar. Okay, commit and push, and it will automatically trigger another pipeline. Go to here, go to actions. You will see change sort to love in a bottom bar. It will automatically deploy, automatically set up everything for you. You just need to refresh this browser only. Okay, you don't need to do anything. So this is the beauty of CI/CD, or you can say GitHub workflows. If you want to refresh this thing, you will see it is changed from Saurav to Love. Okay, you will see here only. You will see there. Initially it was Saurav, now it is Love. So very easily you can able to deploy or want to customize everything. And if you're not using these kind of method, then trust me, this method will save you a lot of time. If you're using traditional approach, try to switch our GitHub workflows, GitHub Actions, or you can say this kind of CI/CD method. Don't try to do stuff manually. It will actually hamper your time, as well as you can able to do some silly mistake as well. So okay, so the EC2 part is done. EC2 part I have tell you how can you deploy it into EC2 thing using CI/CD method. Okay ji. Now it's time to switch this thing to the Kubernetes part. Okay, so let me just create a branch for Kubernetes. Git checkout -b. I'm trying to name kube. Git push -- setup upstream, followed by the kube branch. Then it will create a kube branch. Okay, right now it will not trigger any GitHub actions or any commits or any kind of pipeline, because kube folder doesn't have right now a dedicated configuration file. You will see kube. EC2 will be reciting for EC2 deployment, and kube is actually reciting for a Kubernetes deployment. It is not a bad practice, but for a simpler understanding, I just created that thing. Generally, what is that staging will be much more considered for a EC2 deployment, and main or master branch will be reciting for a Kubernetes deployment. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to open the file which is actually used for Kubernetes deployment. Okay, you will see here only. Deploy to KX. This is the particular configuration which is actually used for you, but then now which is going to use by you for deploying your application into Kubernetes. Okay, the first thing first, before understanding this particular YAML, but I need to understand that where is the Kubernetes cluster. So let me just access my Kubernetes cluster. kubectl get pods -a. This is our Kubernetes cluster. Okay, this is our self-hosted, self-runner, or you can say on-prem Kubernetes cluster. And let me just go to app deployment. So what I'm trying to say is that I have a Kubernetes cluster which is a self-hosted. Means in my own infra I have set up this cluster. Okay, now to GitHub to work to this cluster, now if the GitHub want to if my GitHub want to talk to my this thing, talk to let me just, if my GitHub wants to talk to my Kubernetes cluster, na, there should be a mediator which is called runners. Okay, this is called runners. This runner have the ability to talk to my Kubernetes cluster using kubeconfig files. Okay, kubeconfig file. Okay, whenever the developer push the code into our kube branch, my runner will automatically trigger a configuration and apply my deployment manifest to our Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Now, what we have to do is that we have to configure a runner first. Let me just open GitHub, go to setting. There's a concept called runners. Where is that thing? Let me just find that thing. Runners. Okay. Right now, one runner already is there in my system, but yeah, you can able to use in your environment. I will show you how can you install, how can you configure a self-hosted runner in your own infra. Let me just delete this thing, or let me just delete that thing from my setup first. So I have a self-hosted runner, so I've just logged into the server. Don't worry, I will try to showcase you everything from scratch. You don't need to worry about anything. Now runner has been removed. Okay. So what you need to do is that you need to create a server or a virtual machine or whatever the thing you want to use. I have created a simple VM. This is a Ubuntu server. It is a very simple server with a very minimum configuration. And I will try to install the self-hosted runner into this thing. Okay. So if you click on new self-hosted runner, it will showcase you everything. How can you install that? So you just have to copy this command. It will create a directory, and you have to copy this command. It will download your runner tar file. You have to extract the tar file, and you have to configure this server as a GitLab runner using this command config.sh URI with the token, with this token. Okay, so I have already downloaded it. This command I have already run it. If you want to run it on your own, just copy paste it in your own environment. Okay, just copy that thing and enter the token and hit enter. So it will ask for authentication. Enter the name of the runner group. I just check default. Enter the name of the runner, GitLab runner, which will be a fine. The runner will have the following labels. I just type self-hosted, hit enter, and runner successfully added. If you go to runner tab again, you will see a runner already has been added. Now you need to enable the configuration, okay, to work. Enter the for that you have to type run.sh. Run.sh. In here only it is actually showed run.sh. Okay, so it will enable the services and it will try to connect to the GitHub, and you will see from offline it will now going to for a idle mode. If I refresh, you will see it is successfully go to idle mode. Okay, now that runner part is done. Now you have to go to your complete you have to go to this Kubernetes YAML file, which is actually used by you. So first thing first, what does this YAML file actually do? First thing first is that it will deploy Kubernetes. It will deploy your application into a self-hosted Kubernetes cluster using the self-hosted runner. It will use master branch, but right now we don't have the master branch. We have a kube branch. So change this master branch to kube. Okay, ji, kube. It is run on self-hosted runner. Now the thing is, what is this thing? If you see in here, deploy to EC2, when I type run on, which is Ubuntu latest, so it will automatically, GitHub will automatically understand that it will use our shared runner, not our self-hosted runner. But in this thing, I specifically says that run this pipeline into our self-hosted runner, and where I find out the self-hosted runner name, because I have labeled this thing as a self-hosted runner. You will see there only self-hosted. Okay, here only self-hosted. And apart from that also, if you go to the configuration tab, if you want to use the self-hosted runner, type run on self-hosted. You will see. So that's here also I can able to see how can I use this particular runner in our CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so this is done, and let me just understand you a little more, and then I will try to install Docker in the server, and I will try to log into our Docker Hub repository. This is my Docker Hub repository. I will try to log in from our username, password, and so on and so forth. I will try to build the container image using this thing. It will take this Docker file, and it will automatically build our images. It will try to push our images into our Docker Hub, and then it will try to install kubectl into our self-hosted runner. It will configure the kubeconfig file. That kubeconfig file actually uses to connect to our self-hosted runner to our Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and then it will try to deploy to Kubernetes using kubectl apply command. It will deploy this manifest file. You will see namespaces. I've created a namespaces file. I've created a deployment file, and then I will create a service file. Okay, it will expose that into load balancer. And this deployment file, you will see the API version 1 kind deployment, and it will use this image. This is the image which is actually uses by our deployment. You will see here only. This is the thing. Docker push. So if you configure that, if you use my Docker username, at the end the image name will be this thing. This is my user ID, and this is the particular image tag name. Okay, so everything is done, but first thing first, we need to set up this thing, this particular parameter. So go to same action variables. You have to take the Docker username, Docker token using your Docker Hub. You can able to easily do that if you log into your Docker Hub username. You can able to create using this account setting parameter, and you will create a personal access token. Okay, now token and username, it is done. Now it is called kubeconfig file. Kubeconfig file you can able to create very easily, or you can get kubeconfig file very easily. Nano, home, Saurabh, get cube followed by the config file. This is the file location. If you are using self-hosted, or even if you are using any kind of managed Kubernetes cluster, EKS, GKE, then they will provide a kubeconfig file for connecting to the cluster. Just copy that particular content and paste it into here, into this secret. Okay, and you will be good to go. Now, what you need to do is that you need to update this command, update this file into the kube configuration. So GitHub workflows and the Kubernetes. Git push, not git push. When I push this deployment, now it will do all those sort of stuffs in our this self-hosted run. Okay, you will see the listing of job in a real-time basis, because I have already accessed the self-hosted runner. That's why. So let me just push this thing, and once it is pushed, now it will create a actions. Go to here, and you will see deploy Kubernetes cluster on a self-hosted runner. Go to this thing and go to build and deploy part. It will try to try to log in, and you will see, if you go to the terminal, it is actually running all the build and deploy job. Okay, so first thing first, it will try to install Docker. It will try to log into our Docker Hub. It will then build and push the images into Docker Hub. And you will see, then it will try to install kubectl. Kubectl is a CLI basically to talk to your Kubernetes API server. And then it will try to set up the kubeconfig file for connecting to your cluster. and then it will try to deploy the manifest. So it is very simple, not a very complex kind of CI/CD pipeline, but yeah, we learn a lot of things from this tutorial. Let me just wait for a couple of seconds to deploy the manifest file. So you will see it is created different kind of stuff. So if I open my cluster now, if I open my cluster using Kubernetes get pods -a, it is creating a application 18 seconds ago, network toolkit in a network toolkit namespace, a network toolkit pod. If I want to access the logs, I can able to easily do that using this thing. The application is running properly into my Kubernetes cluster. If I want to access the service, it is exposed in our load balancer method, and the IP address of the external IP it is 192.168.1.80. Open the browser, access your cluster, access your application. You will see it is accessing by our Kubernetes cluster as well. If I want to do any kind of functionality, it will automatically give the same prompt which is actually giving into your EC2 as well. Okay, so yeah, this is the deployment part. I have already given you all the instruction, all the methodology. How can you deploy this thing into EC2 using CI/CD? How can you deploy this thing into your Kubernetes as well? So yeah, I hope you understand this thing. You got a little bit about idea about how can you use the GitHub workflows, GitHub this kind of CI/CD kind of method to deploy your application into your different kind of environment. Okay, so yeah, keep learning, keep supporting me, and ping me what kind of videos, what kind of tutorial you want, what kind of topics you want. I will try to make videos on those topics as well. So yeah, bye, peace.